Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast, everyone. Some companies, they're just a slow burn, steady growth, predictable returns.
Right.
But then there's Caesars Entertainment, ticker symbol CZR.
Ah, yeah.
Caesars feels like every day is a trip to Vegas with them. You win big, you lose big, and you're never quite sure what's coming next. So are they a gamble worth taking? We're going to try to figure that out today, breaking down their recent moves, their financial health, and what the future might hold for this gaming giant.
A giant, for sure.
We'll even touch on whether some analysts are right to call this a potential double-bagger stock. What do you think?
We'll see.
Let's unpack all this with our market expert who can hopefully help us see through the flashing lights and the ringing slot machines to understand what's really going on with Caesars. First off, can you give us a sense of the stock's recent performance? It's been anything but boring, right?
Oh, absolutely. CZR is currently trading at $39.76, which is up 2.29% for the day. But look closer, and you'll see it's been bouncing between $39.02 and $40 just today.
Wow.
That's a lot of volatility in just one day, even for a company like Caesars.
So it's not for the faint of heart, huh? That kind of swing would give anyone a rush. Maybe not the kind you want in your portfolio, though.
Right.
What's been driving this roller coaster ride?
Well, some of it is just the nature of the gaming industry,
Okay.
It's always been susceptible to swings in sentiment, economic news, even how well the sports teams they sponsor are doing.
So a bit of a casino on the stock market, too. Makes sense. But I'm guessing there's more to it than just industry trends, especially with a stock as active as CZR.
You're right. There are company-specific factors at play here, too.
Okay.
If we look back 50 days, the average price was around $35.02.
Got it.
So we're in an upswing, but the question is it sustainable?
All right, so we've got this upward trend, but also a lot of choppiness. Let's dig into some of the specifics here, starting with the good news. First, why the nearly 5.3% jump on October 3rd of last year? That wasn't just random chance, was it?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Caesars made a strategic move that day.
Always?
They announced a $1 billion senior note offering.
Hold on, for those of us not fluent in Wall Street jargon, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah.
And how does it affect the average investor?
Essentially, it's a way for a company to borrow money by issuing debt to investors.
Okay.
They get cash now, and in return, they promise to pay back the principal plus interest over a set period of time.
So taking on more debt, not usually something investors celebrate.
True.
But this must have been viewed favorably, given the stock jump.
It was.
Okay.
And here's why. They coupled that debt offering with a $500 million share buyback authorization.
Okay, so two sides of the same coin. Borrow money to buy back their own stock. What's the strategy there?
It's a way to try and boost the value of the remaining shares. When a company buys back its stock, there are fewer shares outstanding, which can increase earnings per share and potentially drive up the price.
So they're signaling confidence in their own future, hoping to attract investors who see this as a good deal.
Exactly.
Clever, but is it working?
Well, the stock did jump on that news. But remember, we're still below the highs of late October last year.
Right.
Down about 11 points.
Yeah.
Since then, it's been hovering just above its 52-week low, which might be making some investors nervous.
Yeah, that's got to be tough for anyone who bought in at the peak. You're highlighting a really important point here. It's not just about the headlines. It's about understanding the context.
Absolutely. And that context includes their financials, which have some red flags. Let's look at their price-to-earnings ratio, or PE, which is a key metric for evaluating a company's stock price relative to its earnings.
Yeah, that PE ratio is often thrown around.
It is.
But it can be a bit cryptic for the average person. What does Caesar's PE of negative 23.67 actually tell us? And should it be cause for concern?
A negative PE usually means the company isn't profitable.
Uh-oh.
Which, on the surface, is a big warning sign.
Definitely not the kind of red you want to see in your portfolio. So is this a sign to run for the hills?
Not so fast. It's not uncommon in the gaming industry, especially for companies focused on aggressive growth.
So they're spending heavily now, hoping to rake in the profits later. Literally. What's their big bet year?
Their digital segment.
Okay.
It's no secret that online gambling is exploding, and Caesars wants a piece of that pie. They're aiming for $500 million in EBITDA from their digital arm by 2025.
Okay, another acronym. Break that one down for us. What is EBITDA, and why is it so important in this case?
EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
Wow.
It's a way to measure a company's core operating profitability without getting bogged down by accounting and financing details.
So it gives us a clearer picture of how much cash they're actually generating from their operations, which is crucial for a company like Caesars that's carrying a lot of debt.
Exactly. And that brings us to the elephant in the room, Caesar's debt. It's substantial.
It's the kind of debt that makes you want to hit the all-you-can-eat buffet and forget your worries,
Yeah.
but we can't ignore it. How are they managing this, and how worried should investors be?
Well, they're tackling it on multiple fronts. They've been selling off non-core assets, streamlining operations, and focusing on squeezing more cash flow out of their existing businesses.
So a bit of a financial diet and exercise regimen makes sense, but is it enough?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And this is where it gets interesting. They're projected to generate nearly 85% of their current market cap in free cash flow between 2024 and 2027.
Whoa, back up a second. What's free cash flow?
Yeah.
And why should our listeners care about it, especially in Caesar's case?
Free cash flow is the cash a company has left over after paying for its operating expenses and capital expenditures. Think of it as the money they have available to reinvest in the business, pay down debt, or return to shareholders.
Okay, so it's a measure of financial flexibility and their ability to actually make good on those debt reduction promises.
Exactly.
And you're saying they're projected to generate a huge amount of it.
Yes, and that's key to understanding their strategy. If they hit those projections, it could significantly change their debt picture and make them a much more attractive investment.
Got it. So we've got this potential cash windfall on the horizon, but we also need to keep an eye on their debt management. What are some other key dates or events investors should have on their radar?
A couple big ones coming up.
Okay.
First, we can expect to see a surge in free cash flow in the second half of 2024. This is due to a reduction in capital expenditure and the fact that their properties in New Orleans and Virginia will be hitting their stride.
So a bit of a perfect storm brewing there, less spending plus more revenue from those properties. That's good news for their cash flow, right?
Absolutely. And then there's the Centaur option, which could potentially bring in a whopping $2.3 billion in cash for Caesars if it's exercised by Vice in the second half of 2024.
Hold on, another term that needs unpacking. What is this mysterious Centaur option, and why could it be such a game changer for Caesars?
It's actually pretty simple.
Okay,
Vice Properties is a real estate investment trust that owns a lot of casino properties, including some that Caesars operates.
right.
This Centaur option basically gives Vice the right to buy a property from Caesars for $2.3 billion. If they exercise that option, it's a huge cash infusion for Caesars.
Wow, talk about a potential jackpot. So we've got a potential surge in free cash flow and this massive cash infusion from the Centaur option. It sounds like things could be looking up for Caesars, but is anything that could derail this positive momentum?
There's always a risk, and in Caesars' case, it's that earnings announcement on February 25th, 2025.
Okay.
That's the day they reveal their financial performance for the previous quarter, and it could send the stock soaring or plummeting.
So a real nail-biter for investors. It sounds like we need to break down the bull case and the bear case here. Let's start with the optimistic view. What are the arguments for why Caesars is a buy right now?
Well, if we look at their projected free cash flow for 2027, Caesars is trading at 4.0 times price to free cash flow. That suggests they could be undervalued, especially if they hit those ambitious targets.
So the potential is there, but it hinges on their ability to execute.
Exactly. And they do have some things going for them. They have a strong presence in Las Vegas, a market that's still a major draw for tourists from around the world. They also own about half of their real estate, which provides some stability and potential for asset sales. And of course, they have that rapidly growing digital arm, which is key in today's market.
And some analysts are even calling this a potential double bagger, meaning the stock could double in value. It's got to be tempting for investors, right?
It certainly is, but we need to be realistic here. Caesars isn't a sure thing. They're carrying a lot of debt, and they're sensitive to interest rate hikes. If the economy takes a downturn or interest rates keep climbing, it could put a lot of pressure on their financials.
So a classic high-risk, high-reward scenario. Investors need to weigh those potential gains against the very real risks. What about the competitive landscape?
Right.
How does Caesars stack up against the other big players in the gaming industry?
It's a crowded field, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They're competing against established giants like MGM Resorts and Wynn Resorts in the physical casino space, and they're battling the likes of DraftKings and FanDuel in the online arena. It's a fierce battle for market share, and it's only getting more intense.
So how are they differentiating themselves in this crowded market? What's their edge?
They're leveraging their strong brand recognition and their established presence in key markets like Las Vegas. They're also investing heavily in their digital platform and making strategic acquisitions to bolster their online offerings. But it's a constant race to innovate and stay ahead of the curve.
Speaking of staying ahead of the curve, we can't ignore the macroeconomic environment. We're in a period of high inflation and rising interest rates. How is that impacting Caesars and the gaming industry as a whole?
That's a crucial factor to consider. Inflation can cut into consumer spending, which could impact casino revenues. People might be less likely to gamble or spend as much if their wallets are feeling the pinch.
It's the classic discretionary spending dilemma. When times get tough, entertainment and leisure are often the first things to go. But isn't the gaming industry often seen as recession-resistant?
To a certain extent, yes. People still want to have fun and escape from reality, even when times are tough. But high inflation and rising interest rates can create a challenging environment, especially for a company like Caesars with a high debt load.
So it's a balancing act. They need to capitalize on that potential for resilience while also managing their debt and navigating a competitive landscape.
Exactly. It's a complex situation with a lot of moving parts.
And that's what makes it so fascinating to analyze, right?
Absolutely. It's a real-world case study in business strategy, financial management, and the ever-evolving dynamics of the gaming industry.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about Caesar's recent performance, their growth plans, their debt situation, the competitive landscape, and the macroeconomic environment. But I want to bring it back to you, our expert. You've been analyzing this company inside and out.
I have.
What's your overall assessment? Are you bullish or bearish on Caesar's Entertainment?
It's tough to give a simple yes or no answer.
Okay,
There's a lot to like about their potential, especially in the digital space,
right.
and their efforts to reduce debt are encouraging.
So you see the seeds of a turnaround story, but you're not ready to plant your flag just yet.
Right. I'm cautiously optimistic, but with a big emphasis on cautious.
Yeah.
That high debt load is a major hurdle they need to clear, and the competition isn't going to make it easy for them.
It's a high-wire act, that's for sure. They need to find that perfect balance between growth and stability. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something that's often overlooked in these discussions, the social impact of gambling.
Yeah,
It's a complex issue with strong opinions on both sides.
absolutely. On one hand, gambling can provide entertainment, economic benefits, and even a sense of community for some people.
Right.
But there's no denying the potential downsides. Problem gambling, addiction, and financial ruin are very real concerns.
And as investors, we can't just ignore those concerns. How is Caesars addressing this issue? What steps are they taking to promote responsible gaming?
They're actually doing quite a bit. They have a comprehensive responsible gaming program that includes a range of resources and initiatives. For example, they offer self-exclusion programs, which allow individuals to voluntarily ban themselves from Caesars properties.
So giving people the power to set their own limits, that's a good step. What else are they doing?
They also provide training to their employees on how to identify and assist customers who may be experiencing gambling problems.
Okay.
And they partner with organizations like the National Council on Problem Gambling to offer support and resources to those affected by gambling addiction.
It sounds like they're taking a proactive approach, not just paying lip service to the issue.
Yes, and I think that's important. It's not just about being socially responsible, it's also good business. A company with a reputation for responsible gaming is more likely to attract and retain customers in the long run.
It builds trust and goodwill, which are invaluable assets, especially in an industry that can be prone to negative perceptions.
Exactly. It shows that they're taking their role in the community seriously and that they're committed to creating a safe and enjoyable environment for everyone.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from Caesar's financial performance and growth strategy to their debt management and responsible gaming initiatives. It's been a fascinating look inside this complex and evolving company. But now I want to hear from you, our listeners. What are your takeaways from this look at Caesar's Entertainment? Are you bullish on their future, or are you concerned about the risks?
Yeah, great question.
Head over to our comment section and let us know your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe to Investing Talk Podcast and share this episode with your fellow investors. Until next time, happy investing.